It's 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. I'm Jim Thorn, broadcasting from the Mac Hiker Flowwood Studios. Today's Friday. I'll get it here in a minute. And you know what that means. Friday means it's time for That's What's Happening's Blues and Arts Hour. It's a program where we feature some of Mississippi's finest singers, songwriters, musicians, and artists. And, of course, the program is made possible every week by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue. Thanks also to one-of-a-kind, locally owned Fusion Coffee House, Highland Colony Parkway in Ridgeland. Well, this morning, we're going to go into the recording studio. That's right. Not just any recording studio, but Eternal Beyond Studios, located here in central Mississippi. Nathan Maines. He's the brains and talent behind this amazing place, and we're going to talk with Nathan about some of the projects that have come out of his studio and what goes into making a great recording. Nathan Maines, welcome to the program.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you here,
Yeah, man.
How's the coffee? Coffee
was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'll grab another cup on the way out.
Well, there you go. Yeah. And you brought your own, too. Right?
They said that was the main reason to be here this morning was the coffee was on point. So.
But they're right. Listen, your website, eternalbeyondstudio.com, very impressive.
Thank you.
I looked at that and I thought, man, this is incredible. Tell us what you're all about.
I'm an IT nerd by day and a music geek by night. And so I run and operate Tech Care Computers, which is in Madison.
Yeah.
Do a lot of just computer nerd stuff, man. I love that kind of stuff. And music's just kind of been a part of my thing since I was probably about 13, 14.
So how long have you been recording there in Florence?
I guess we're going on like being in that building about 5 years now.
Is that
so
right?
It took a couple of years to build. It was me and about 5 or 6 other guys that started building that. Mm-hmm. And we were just doing that in our spare time. And so it took a fair probably 18 to 20 months to actually get that first portion of that recording studio assembled. So we've had about 3 years of actually making music in there now, and we're turning a page now. It's
impressive. And folks, I tell you, you really need to check it out, eternalbeyondstudio.com, and see what all's there. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what goes into all that here in the course of the program. But I want to start off with a track that you recorded by the Stevens Brothers.
Oh, these guys are good, man.
Tell us a little bit about this.
John Chappell, which is another local music nut, he had saw them at like an open mic night kind of thing and messaged me and said, man, you got to hear these boys. And if I'm not mistaken, Hayden is 17, might be 18 now, and Willow, his younger brother, I believe, is 15.
Wow.
And these boys can write and sing. And this is, I believe, the second single that we worked on. They're working on a full, like a 5-6 song album right now. And so they got another one soon to be released that's going to be a really big hit too. It's pretty good, man. But,
well, let's check it out. This is the Stevens Brothers. It's called Summer in the South.
That's it.
Here we go.
It's been a long year, but I made it through. Got a couple broken hearts in the rear view. Old man winter stuck around too long. Counted down the days and now he's gone. Well, now the sun's out and I'm feeling good. Starting just like I knew it would. So hit me up if you got no plans. I'll show you a time you won't forget with some guitars on sandbars on the river. boys who are fighting hard overseas, busting their tails for you and me. Windows rolled down on a back road, fishing poles loaded up in my Bronco, heading down to the riverbank, catch a buzz and some rays and a bass if we can. Some people can't make sense of it, never should change.
All right, that's the Stevens Brothers, Summer in the South, recorded there at Eternal Beyond Studios. Nathan Maines, great sound, and you say
Good
those
stuff.
guys are very young.
They're young.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're older than 30, they're young.
How can people access maybe some of the music that you've recorded? Is that available?
Yeah, most everything is sitting on that website. As far as just projects that have been done, you can go right there and listen to it. They're available on any streaming platform. So if Spotify is not your cup of tea, go get it at Amazon or Apple. So
Okay. But the website is eternalbeyondstudio.com.
that's it.
Very good.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, Nathan, we're going to take a break and come back and enjoy some more terrific music.
Coffee break.
Coffee break?
Coffee break. Let's do it.
All right, we'll do that. I'm Jim Thorn. You're listening to the Blues and Arts Hour on 103.9 WYAB. And, of course, the show is made possible every week by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue. Thanks also to one-of-a-kind, locally owned Fusion Coffee House, Highland Colony Parkway in Ridgeland, 14 minutes after 9. Welcome back. It's 18 after 9. I'm Jim Thorn. You're listening to the Blues and Arts Hour on 103.9 WYAB, and we're broadcasting live from the Mac Haika Flowwood Studios. Our special guest in our studio, is Nathan Maines. He is with Eternal Beyond Studios. They have been really turning out some wonderful, top-notch recordings. And I got to ask you, Nathan, are you a musician yourself?
I play a little guitar, but I really enjoy pressing buttons and turning knobs.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about this. Other than George Martin of the Beatles fame, producers don't get a lot of fame. In the common people.
I think we're kind of the man behind the curtain.
Exactly.
And that's all right. That's okay.
It takes that personality, though. That's you're geared towards that, but you're not really grabbing or
well.
wanting.
If it wouldn't have been for playing guitar as a kid, I wouldn't be recording now, because that's where all that kind of started from, was playing a guitar and going, man, if I had a way to play this back, then I could play something else on top of it. And that's kind of where the heroin addiction starts, and it just goes from there. Yeah. And so, if it wasn't for that guitar, I wouldn't be producing music.
Yeah. Are you from here locally?
So I'm kind of a mutt. I'm from Louisiana, but we lived in Purvis, Mississippi till I was about 10, and then we went up to Pennsylvania, which is where my dad's side is. So I've been kind of all over the place. Yeah.
Now, you started recording. We were talking before we went on the air, and you started recording people back probably, 15 years ago?
Yeah. I've been doing this for a little while. I kind of got my end doing rap and hip-hop and R&B in Jackson there for quite a few years. Mm-hmm. And then just kind of meandered out of that and took a break. And this, what's happening right now, was not supposed to be happening. This was supposed to be a man cave, if you will, for me and a close group of buddies, and that has morphed into something that's magical.
Yeah. How many people are you working with currently? Or
I would say we keep roughly 6 to 8 different artists or bands in rotation at a time. Yeah. I mean, there's only so much time that you can work on these projects. I'm not a by-the-hour studio. I'm a by-the-project studio, meaning if your song takes 30 hours to do, it takes 30 hours. If it takes 50 hours, it takes 50 hours. You have a flat rate. That's what we're going to do, and we're just going to do everything we can to make it.
That sounds like it might be unique to you.
It is extremely unique. Yeah. Where most people that buy the hours the only way. But because I have a 9 to 5, I'm in a unique position where I'm not. This isn't my bread and butter. I'm not here to make a killing. I'm here to make music. Okay. And so I'm more interested in learning and exploring and just doing whatever we can. And some things take longer than others. Some things are what I call dominoes, where that first one drops and it just kind of falls together. Some you fight for, some are dominoes.
Well, it's Eternal Beyond Studios, the website eternalbeyondstudio.com. Nathan Maines got a song queued up called Scarlett Sullivan.
Oh, this young lady. This is magical, and this will bring us into how this young lady came about being here. But let's play the song. First thing, this young lady is 14. I believe she was 10 or 11 at the time that she wrote this. She has a younger sister who was diagnosed with leukemia and beat it.
Wow.
And that's where this song came about. It was pretty much fully composed and produced by Chad Wesley, and then brought next door and recorded, engineered, and mixed over to Eternal Beyond. So we'll get into that next. That's fun.
Scarlett Sullivan, and the name of the song is called Iron Shield.
This just released.
Okay, here we go.
Real strong protects my heart with a vibrating song. Raging flames, hot as the sun, closing in on everyone, and I won't die. My heart is protected by an iron shield. Yeah, whoa, an iron shield. I know. Strong as gold, never gets older and old. Yeah, whoa. Drowning flood, rushing over the trees, and it won't rise over me, and I won't die. My heart is protected by an iron shield. Yeah, with an iron shield, I know. Shines like diamonds in the light, sits strong, waiting for a fight. Yeah, crashing waves over the sea. No, they won't harm me. They won't harm me. I am protected, and I am free with an iron shield protecting me, and I won't die. My heart is protected by an iron shield, with an iron shield, and I won't die. My heart is protected by an iron shield, with an iron shield.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow.
Powerful, man. It's powerful.
14 years old, Scarlett
14.
Sullivan.
Yeah, wrote that a couple of years ago.
Now, one of your studio musicians, and you were talking earlier off the air, that Chad Wesley, a very integral part of what you do. You want to elaborate on that?
Let's not talk about that guy. He's been kind of an integral part as to what's taken shape now, where we're just working with a lot of younger artists and these singer-songwriters. That was all him. I got an idea. Let's see if it works. And so I met Chad at DC, just randomly going by there one day, and it just kind of a leap of faith. That beginning of that relationship led to doing his last album, and that turned out so well that it was a case of him saying, look, we work really good together. What if we bring in some other musicians and I produce some stuff, and you engineer it. And I said, let's give it a shot. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work. And man, probably the best decision I've made. I mean, it's just been awesome.
Well, of course, Chad's no stranger to the Blues and Arts Hour. We featured him a couple times, and just recently his latest album.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
But you've got some other people involved in what you're doing.
Yeah.
too.
So, Jordan Schatz is another local musician here that I would imagine a lot of people are going to know that name. But he's been with me since the beginning. That's my right hand man, and Chad has easily earned a spot as my left hand man, as we're both left handed. So that's the only place he can be. But Jordan was there when the first wall got put up in the studio and started this thing, and it was Jordan who brought a project in so we could do an entire song as opposed to just goofing around, jamming, drinking a couple of beers, and wanting to do something a little more structured. And so each of these guys has really, really played a key part in where this is at now. And so I would be nowhere without these guys. I mean, it is the group of people that are around me that make this what it is.
I'm thinking to myself, Nathan, that when you do a project like this, I mean, you're expanding your horizons, it sounds like, continually.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, last year was, or 4 years ago would have been the first time that I would have needed more than one microphone. You're doing a vocal, you need a single mic. Now we're talking about mic and a drum setup. We might have 24, 26 microphones being used on a drum set. There was a huge learning curve to have to wrap your head around.
Mm. And being the technical whiz that you are, involved in
makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It definitely helps.
Yeah, but that's always changing too.
It is.
So you've got to be learning all that on the go too.
You do. And all of that changes in my day-to-day life as far as the technology and things like that. I mean, I went from being just a complete Windows user who knew Mac to now the whole facility is ran by Apple computers because of changing technology and one thing getting better than the other. So yeah, you just have to be flexible, and you have to want to learn. You have to like what you do and want to learn what you do, because everything just constantly changes.
Yeah.
It's not work when you like it, though.
That's right.
It really isn't.
That's right. Nathan Maines, our very special guest in the studio, and his studio is called Eternal Beyond Studios.
That's it.
And some terrific music coming out of that. And we're going to continue our conversation. Nathan, when we come back, I want to kind of go through the process of when somebody contacts you with a project or a song that they'd like to record, what happens. So we'll do that. All right, we'll do that. We're going to take a break for our CBS News update, and then come back and enjoy more of the Blues and Arts Hour. I'm Jim Thorn, and of course the show is made possible every week by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue. And thanks also to locally owned, one-of-a-kind Fusion Coffee House, Highland Colony Parkway in Ridgeland. Our time now is 9:30. It's 25 minutes until 10. Welcome back. I'm Jim Thorn. You're listening to the Blues and Arts Hour. And, of course, we're broadcasting from the Mac Haika Flowwood Studios. And the show is made possible every week by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue. Thanks also to locally owned, one-of-a-kind Fusion Coffee House, Highland Colony Parkway in Ridgeland. Our special guest this morning, Nathan Maines, who is with Eternal Beyond Studios. And we have been enjoying some really amazing music that has come out of that studio. And again, you can check their website out. It's eternalbeyondstudio.com. Nathan, before we went to the break, I had posed the question in my mind, and I want to ask you now. Somebody comes to you with a song, and they contact you and say, I'd like to record this. I've never done anything like this before. Probably a little bit intimidating for them, but they want to get this done. What do you do? How do you work with that?
Big fan of the meet and greet. And so I think the easiest way to kind of shake that nervousness of a new artist is to just give them a little bit of time, bring them in, let them have an opportunity to play that. I want to hear the song that you're trying to get produced and make something tangible out of it. It kind of gives me an idea of who I'm going to need to get the help with that song, and the different musicians that would probably meet the caliber of that. I don't want to get a rock guitar player if what you have is a little more blues centric. I'd want to get somebody that's more themed in that style. And so I think the meet and greet, it takes a lot of the edge off, where you're not just coming in saying, I'm trying to do a song, and you throw them in front of a microphone. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that works. But in most cases, it's just an idea of let's get to know each other a little bit. I'm kind of an energy guy. I like to feed the vibes off of other people, and I think the biggest part of making good music really starts with a relationship of the musicians and the producers and the people involved.
You know, you got to be, I would think, kind of like a psychologist, a people person. You know, working with different personalities.
It's customer service.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about making sure that what they're trying to get out of what they have is what they get, and so it's a lot of that is psychology, man.
Yeah.
It really is. But if you don't have a relationship with someone and it's just not working, it's not worth their money. It's not worth your time.
Yeah. Okay. We've got a song now. This is from Naomi Taylor.
Oh, this girl. She's killing it.
Talk about it.
She's killing it. This just released this morning. So this is her first single off of her album that we're currently working on right now. I mean, it's just, this girl's killing it. She has a voice. She writes good music. This is yet again produced by Chad Wesley at Eternal Beyond over in Karma Records, which is his studio next door. I think there's now, 3 studios in that building. There's a pre-production, then he's got a studio, then I've got a studio, and so he's really getting an opportunity to shine as a producer. I think people know that he can play a guitar. I don't think people know that he can write good music outside of blues and rock, and he's really getting an opportunity to shine working on this stuff. But this young lady, there's a lot of people rooting for her. A lot of people rooting for her, man.
Well, let's enjoy it. Naomi Taylor, and the song is called "Friend Like That."
I'm tired of feeling like I'm running on empty. I feel left out, nobody wants me, till they realize everyone else is busy. That's when they text me, and I'm sick of writing songs and nobody listens. They say I make it big and never forget them. They're conveniently not there for my depression. It's not about them. I think I deserve a friend who gives a damn about my addictions, who knows when I reach my limit, who holds my head and helps me stand like up against my demons. Oh, I think I deserve a friend like that. No, oh, I think I deserve a friend like that. 'Cause I've been chasing for just a little bit of reciprocation, banging my head against the wall, trying to figure out what's wrong with us. Why can't we just talk? There's no communication. I think I deserve a friend who gives a damn about my addictions, who knows when I reach my limits, who holds my head and helps me stand back up against my demons. Oh, I think I deserve a friend like that. No, oh, I think I deserve a friend like that.
That's Naomi Taylor and a friend like that. And Nathan Maines, you say that song released today.
It was released this morning.
And she's got an album that she's working on?
Working on a full album. Yep, that's the first single from that.
That's great. You know, as a producer, you've got to have an ear that most ordinary people don't possess. I mean, you got to hear things that we don't.
Sometimes. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of times where you'll grab something and go, but I think having a big staff of people that you can rely on, where it just kind of goes through this filter of these different guys, and everybody kind of, it just narrows down till it comes down to the final product, and it's good. So I think it's not just one ear, it's multiple sets of ears that's really making this.
Yeah, very good. I'm going to take a break, come back for our final segment, enjoy maybe a couple more songs that have come out of Eternal Beyond Studios. And the website, eternalbeyondstudio.com, our very special guest, Nathan Maines. I'm Jim Thorn. You're listening to the Blues and Arts Hour, made possible every week by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue. And thanks also to one-of-a-kind, locally owned Fusion Coffee House, Highland Colony Parkway in Ridgeland. Our time now is 17 minutes until 10 o'clock. Don't go away. Welcome back. It's 12 minutes until 10. Jim Thorn here on the Blues and Arts Hour. Nathan Maines from Eternal Beyond Studio, our very special guest. Nathan, how can people get in touch with you if they've got questions or maybe want to pursue something that you can help them with?
You can call me. I'm 601-983-9272, or another convenient way is just go to Eternal Beyond Studio and hit that contact button, and you can ask me anything you need to.
You know, I mentioned George Martin, of the Beatles producer. Do you have any producers that you kind of look to?
I watch a lot of cool YouTube content, and I try to absorb some of these things from some of the new age producers that are out now to some of the old stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I don't really have a particular favorite. I think the nice thing about producers is they each kind of get in this unique niche where this guy's really good at doing this and this guy's really good at doing this, and so there's a multitude of different guys that I'd love to absorb their knowledge and learn from. Is there
maybe a fraternity or a association of producers? Do you know of? Just curious. Should be, though.
There probably should be, yeah.
A great way to share ideas and things.
I go to a lot of forums online, and so there's a big gathering of guys on there that you can ask and talk questions to. Yeah. But I think I look at a lot of different people, and I don't just have one person that I go to.
Yeah. Another song here. This is Chad Wesley, "Escape," and I know we've talked about Chad, but a little background on this one.
So this was my favorite song from the whole album. It just kind of fell together. It was the one that, to me, jumped out at me in the early parts before we were really getting into doing all the mix magic. It just kind of already had that magic going in. That's Dominoes. Again, it just kind of, for me, it just fell together. And so that's why I picked this one. This was my personal favorite. Rumor has it that there could be a video for this. Okay. I don't want to give too much away, but the rumor has it there could be a video for this, and it will be fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's enjoy the song, Chad Wesley, and the song is called "Escape." All right, that's Chad Wesley, and the song is Escape. And again, that has come out of Eternal Beyond Studios with Nathan Maines. And Nathan, I got to ask you, when somebody comes to you with a song, now of course Chad's done a good bit of recording, but if somebody new comes to you with a song, and you start, this idea starts to grow, and it comes into a recording session, and then the final product's got to be rewarding for you as well as that particular artist.
There's nothing better than most of these releases go out at midnight, but it ends up falling at 11 o'clock our time. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing better than being able to pull up a streaming platform. It's like, another one. It's great, and to have that final product and to get that satisfaction from the artist, where they're like, that's it. That's what I heard. That's what I felt. This is it. I mean, it's awesome. I would imagine that somebody that comes to you, they've got some ideas in their head, but you can hear things too, and it's a joint collaboration. That's it. It's all ears on deck. Yeah. I mean, the idea is usually we just start with a scratch. That would be like an artist maybe playing an acoustic and just singing. Mm-hmm. It's very primitive. But from there, you get your tempo, you get some of your melodies, you get some of your basic concrete foundation to start building on. And then from there, it's about deciding, like, well, what does this bass line need to sound like? Yeah. Well, what does this guitar need to sound like? Mm. Should we keep the original guitar? Maybe you should change it different. And that's what we call politics in music. Very good. You've got some interesting things on the horizon. Talk about those. We got some cool stuff, man. We've been talking a little while about the ability to maybe have some really like private, intimate sessions there, both from a live band and recording to maybe even some small shows that are just private events. Mm-hmm. So this year we're gonna completely gut and take about 900 square feet, and we're gonna build a multimedia studio. Wow. Mm-hmm. Green screens and blue screens and black screens, as well as just the ability to throw a stage up, seating for roughly maybe 40 people, 45 people, something like that. Just a multi-function facility over there where I can do video, I can do audio, I can do shows. I could cut a commercial for somebody if I want to for a product placement on a website. Anything. It just needs to function as a multimedia, multi-use portion of this studio, but there's a big need for that. What I'm hearing from you, Nathan, it sounds like the sky's the limit. Well, it is. Yeah. It is. I mean, I'm a believer in if you want it bad enough, that's all that it takes. If I wanted to be a good basketball player, I probably would. Mm-hmm. I just don't have any ambition to dribble a inflated piece of rubber across the wooden floor. It just doesn't do anything for me. And so, if you want it, go get it. How can people get in touch with you? EternalBeyondStudio.com, or you can call my cell phone at 601-983-9272. And if you're driving, you didn't get that, you can email me, jim@wyab.com, and I'll put you in touch with Nathan Maines. Nathan, we've got time for one more song to roll out the program on. It's called American. The group is American Automatic. These guys are killer. Now this is it's good rock music. This is a little bit one of the lighter ones. This is from the last EP that they just released. Jordan Schott's a rhythm guitar player, does a little background vocals, and that's his band. But these guys are awesome. I love these guys to death. Just good music, man. American Automatic. The name of the song is called From Above. Our featured artist today, producer Nathan Maines, Eternal Beyond Studio. Nathan's been good having you in. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, brother. The show, the Blues and Arts Hour, is made possible every week by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue. Thanks also to one-of-a-kind, locally owned Fusion Coffee House, Highland Colony Parkway in Ridgeland. Until next week, again, I'm Jim Thorn. Thanks for listening. God bless. Here they are, American Automatic.